This is it. This is when Colorado was supposed to have its most vulnerable vaccinated. Let's look at how we're doing. Denver gets some flexibility from COVID restrictions, but can't loosen them yet. I wonder if we've been tallying the vaccine totals in the wrong way. We'll go in depth on that. Colorado is sending National Guard to Washington. What about the threat here next week? And the awkward but essential conversation about pay equity, asking people how much they make.
The fact that you both like fantasy football is not a reason to pay a man on your team more than you pay a woman.
Getting paid equally requires some scouting. We'll talk about how to do it next. Denver is close enough to a return to indoor dining we can taste it. Got approved for the state's 5-star program, but Denver's COVID counts are still too high. So now the city's restaurants have to wait even longer until those cases drop. Mayor also mentioned today that he wants the incoming President Biden to give cities more control over who gets vaccinated when, so that Denver might be able to prioritize people in group living situations, like in homeless shelters. Statewide, our vaccination progress is plodding along. Not yet 4%. It's better than some other states, but between you and me, have you seen some of these other states? So we are at 3.9% right now, vaccinated another 11,000 Coloradans yesterday. We're almost to 250,000 people total. So the state's goal has been to get through most of the initial phase, the most vulnerable people, by right about now. Our Anusha Roy looks at how we're doing with Phase 1A.
Phase 1A includes the highest risk healthcare workers and staff and people living in long-term care facilities. Let's start with a check-in at hospitals like Denver.
In the evening, in like the last 25 minutes, and we're going to be going over the latest data, how many facilities are scheduled, how many are not. As soon as I can sort through those updated numbers, I'm going to push that out to everyone, Kyle.
So all of this, Anusha, it seems to be about flexibility. Everybody on the ground wants flexibility. Mayor of Denver wants flexibility. Governor wants flexibility. And individual health systems like Denver Health also want some flexibility.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And you know what they were saying today?
Primarily the most sick and the people who are most dying.
My full conversation with Chris is on the next YouTube channel. There we talk about America's kind of general lack of preparation for this vaccination rollout, even though we knew it was coming. Talk about what we should be better prepared for, say, 1 year from today. So I've been covering politics for more than a decade, and this is the first
level of security that they normally will have around an inauguration. And what they've done, they've put it into place a week early.
I think the events of the past week have made many of us in the House, and I think public servants across the country, frankly,
Equal pay for equal work. It's not that complicated.
It's really not. Though finding out what other people make so you can compare your own pay, that's tough. A change in Colorado law is supposed to make it easier. Denver's architectural history pinpoints where a lot of powerful people once stood, not necessarily those who built the city over centuries. A chance to fix that next. To help women so they can make sure they're being paid fairly for the same work. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger looks at how to approach this uncomfy topic.
Hi, I'm Bob. I make $100,000. I have the same education and responsibilities as Wendy. How much do you think she makes?
It was 5 years where I felt that something was off.
Wendy Rockwell.
Been too much for me. Thank you, sir.
The winds have been relentless today. We saw wind gusts topping 100 miles per hour up in the mountains, and tonight they're still going strong in the foothills with 50 to 60 mile.
A lot of the history connected to our underrepresented communities in Denver is being lost at an alarming pace due to the rapid development of our city.
Important architecture isn't just the places where the wealthy and most powerful lived and worked. A chance to preserve a more complete picture of old Denver. Next. The most Colorado thing we saw today is always a Subaru with skis on top, but that's getting boring, so here are some other close contenders. Bluebird Ski Day, we'll bust out the classic convertible and just let the skis flap in the breeze. Serena saw that on the way to Dillon. For those upgrading from the Subaru after some success in life, the Lambo is always an option. I would not think of that. You'll have to have a motorcycle. And you get the skis on there too, whatever it takes to get to the slopes. Ray spotted this in Fair Play. Keep the most Colorado things you see coming our way. Blue writes in tonight to tactfully say, what is this bull bleep theme song, This Isn't Next? Courtney, has the next music changed permanently? If so, I like it. Nothing's ever permanent. Rob and Tracy and Breck say, every now and then, maybe can you open up with the old theme? You'll hear the old theme from time to time when we see you next time.
9 News closed captioning sponsored by Scandinavian Designs. We make it simple, you make it home.